Daymon Britton, welcome to Back to Byker.
Hello, can I shake your hand?
Lovely
Hello, Andrew Hayden-Smith.
It's been a long time. I was trying to think how long it's been, and I think it was a 25th anniversary.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Bearsleton Villa, yeah.
In 2014. So
Yes.
it's been a long time.
It's been a very long time.
Yes. Dom Meredith, assistant youth leader from 2002 to 2006. Does that
Well, I'm
sound
going
right?
to correct you on this
Already?
because I played a hospital porter
Oh,
in 1996. I've been trying today to find the episode. It's been a long time. I totally forgot about it, I'm being honest with you. My first ever TV appearance was as a hospital porter. I'm credited, I was on there.
yeah.
I'm sure it was series 8.
Right.
I was 18. I'd just come out of college. I
Yeah.
met with a number of agents. And I went to see, can I mention agents' names and stuff? Can I do all that?
Yeah.
So I went and met an agent called Dave Holly, right, in Newcastle.
A big agent in
yeah,
Newcastle, yeah.
and he had a massive cardboard cutout of Ant and Dec in his office, right? And I'm chatting to him, and I was meeting with a number of different agents, and he went, do you want to be like them, do you? Is that who you want to be like? Oh, they're doing quite well for themselves. He said, I'll get you in the show, I'll get you in Byker Grove. And he got me an episode as a bit of a sweetener to sign with. I didn't sign with them in the end, but I did an episode when I was 18. It was, the storyline was the two young lads. Do you know what? I screen grabbed a picture because you'll know who they were.
Series 8 was my first series.
Well, I looked at the promo pictures and I was like, oh my God, you were in it as well. Yeah. So it was those two there. Look at that handsome lad in the background. Those two there.
Alfie and Ed.
Yes. So there was a wheelchair scenario and he pushed him out of a wheelchair and he came to hospital and he was all right. But I give him like a plaster cast to prank his friends with.
Right.
And that was my taste of television at 18. And then I obviously came back.
Yeah.
Not expecting to, but then came back in, yeah.
So the hospital porter, was that your first TV job?
Well, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let's go back even further then. When did you realise you wanted to be an actor?
Literally at school. It was kind of all I ever... It was kind of what I was... I'd say good at, but it was, when you're at school, you're striving to find what your thing is. You're a footballer, or you're a good athlete, you're a good runner, or you're good at this. And I was very non-academic at school, but I could stand up in front of people and do stuff, and I didn't realise that was a thing until I got a little bit older. And then the kind of teachers started championing you, and obviously my uncle was breaking in as an actor at the time when I was in high school, and his career just kind of took off. So that was the kind of North Star for me to go, oh wow, so, oh my God, so you can do this and you can kind of pursue it. And Robson at the time was like really inspirational because his career just like exploded. I mean, if anything, it kind of did me a bit of a disservice because you can't really compare to that kind of career. But it gave me a lot of, I was excited about trying it. And if anything, I've said this a lot, like if anything, when I broke in as an actor, when I, became professional and was meeting with agents, a lot of people were intrigued because Robson was like huge at the time, he still is, but he was, just signed his handcuff deal with ITV, he was the highest paid actor in the UK, and he was doing all this amazing TV work. And people were intrigued because he had a nephew and they wanted to kind of see. So it got me meetings. But I'll stand by because a lot of people think the other way. It didn't get me any jobs, but it got people to see me, I think, in the early days. Yeah.
Did he give you any advice when you were starting out?
Yeah, I remember when I got Dream Team. So like my kind of proper big TV break was in a show called Dream Team on Sky One, and he gave me so his business partner at the time set up my bank accounts. I don't really have a proper bank account. When I auditioned for Dream Team, I'd never been on a train before. Right? So I come down to Manchester and I go to London and I'm casting this show. And Robson's business partner at the time set up my bank accounts, got me an overdraft, she was taking money off me, sorted my tax and everything out. And when I started that show, a lot of other actors didn't have that financial infrastructure that I was given and set up with. So I was lending people money because we went like a few months without getting paid. We started doing rehearsals for 3 months, and the production hadn't quite caught up. So I was lending money to all these different actors, and because I had like an overdraft, and I was and they'd get me cards and everything. And word got back to Robson that I'd spent an awful lot of money in just a few weeks of being there. And I think the whole family thought I'd got into drugs.
Oh, really?
And there was this huge like family meeting, and Robson kind of randomly called me one night, going, "Are you around later on? Come over to the house. I want to have a chat with you." And I was like, "Oh, it must be like he's going to sit me down and give me this words of wisdom." And he just literally went, "Oh, you're on drugs." And I was like, "What?" He went, "Well, Sarah's been in touch. You've spent an awful lot of money." Oh, no, 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 no. I'm lending people. I'm just lending people money. He said, "Oh, your mum's panicking and think you've got a random drug habit," but I didn't. I was
Wow.
lending people money.
They were ready for an intervention.
Yeah, I remember it massively. I was like, "What is going on?" But yeah, in terms of advice, do you know what? He didn't have to, because the way he was conducting himself and the way that he was just the work that he was doing was enough of an inspiration at the time to make me want to follow in his footsteps. And he was actually lovely. He would, because I said this to you before we started recording. It was difficult when his career is at a certain point, and it's very unique with the music, all these kind of first time things happening to him, the handcuffs deal with ITV, all these firsts. Yet my career was, I was doing well. I was working constantly. I didn't have a swimming pool or a tennis court, but I was, I was paying the bills, and it's good enough when you're an actor. So he'd speak to the family and kind of, almost tell them how good he thought I was doing, because I think he saw I was in his shadow a little bit and maybe struggling at times to try and kind of convince people that I was on the right path. Yeah. Although I didn't have all these things that, that he had at the time. So,
and if it was because of that reason, that can only get you so far. And you've had a huge, long career as well.
Well, next year it'll be 30 years since I got my first professional job. And that's something I'm like mega proud about, because I met with, as I said earlier, I met with a number of agents. And one of the questions that was asked, because I think there was a fear of I was seeing what Robson was doing, and that's what I wanted. And all I said was, I just want to be doing it in 20 years' time. And I'm almost 30 years in and still doing it. So that's what I'm kind of proud of, ultimately. Yeah.
Talking about Dream Team, how long were you there for?
I did 2 and a bit years, and stupidly decided I wanted to leave. And that was just, I think it was the naivety of youth. Because again, Andrew, like it started very quickly for me. Yeah. I'd get in this break. Sorry, my phone's on. It's very unprofessional from one side. Yeah, so it started really quickly for me. I started casting, and I got this TV job, and it was Sky's first ever drama, and it was a really kind of decent profile show at the time. They put a lot of money into marketing. They give us all a profile, and I just thought that was it. I was kind of on the road that Robson had been on for many years, and I saw a couple of actors leave the show and go on to do film and other TV shows, and I was just kind of. I was 20 and, impatient and just wanted to be out doing other things. And I was listening to people internally saying, "Oh, you could have done that. You should have been in this. You should have been doing that." And you kind of believe it at the time.
I've been there before. I've done that as well.
Mate, do you know what? I think young
you got to try your luck as well.
Yeah, totally. But I think there could have been some. Because like in America, the structure is you get like a manager and you got an agent. Over here, I just had an agent, and I wish at the time my agent maybe had sat me down and just made me realise how lucky I was. Because I just thought I was mint, if I'm being honest with you. I just thought, well, I'm obviously mint, so I'll just go off and do all these other jobs. And so I spoke to production after series 2, itching to be a Hollywood star, saying I want to leave. And the way that they structured the show was in time with the football season. So they're like, well, we can't transfer you. All these other storylines don't apply.
Right.
How would you feel about being killed off? And I was like, that'd be amazing. Oh, fantastic. And one of the biggest regrets ever was because it was a private plane crash, and there was like several of us. Because once one person said they wanted to leave, a number of others followed suit. Right. So there was about 6 of us on the jet at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was. They literally just packed it. Like my character would go around and go, "I'm getting a plane back to Harchester. Do you want to come?" And they'd go, "No." "Do you want to come?" "Yeah, I'll come." "No," and it's in the script because they're leaving, and because it's going to crash in about an hour's time. So yeah, that was how I left, and then it didn't work for like about 9 months, and that's
right.
I had a really quiet spell, did some episodes of some shows, and kind of started worrying a little bit because I kind of came out with this ruthless. Well, I went into it with this ambition and this kind of drive and belief, and it's amazing how quickly your confidence can just go when you're out of work for a little while. And I just started to doubt everything. And oh my God.
Were you getting auditions as well, or?
Yeah, I remember getting, my confidence dropped really quickly. And it was weird because like I was in a TV show and I'd never made money before, and I got to a certain point of just like spending the money I was making. I was living in London, out every weekend. I was living in a house, sharing it with other actors, just living this like amazing life at 21, and then coming out of that and trying to sustain that because there's nothing else to do. Mate, I do random things, right? So I'd stop on the show, and so all my friends are working, they've all got proper jobs.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I'm sat around, not doing anything, just putting on weight and just getting really bored. And
Thinking, why am I not working?
Mate, massively.
Yeah.
And I'd wake up in the morning and I'd go, I think I'll paint today. So I'd go into town and I'd buy like an easel and some paints and all the stuff, and I'd paint. And I'd go, that was all right. I remember one day I woke up and I went, I'm going to smoke a pipe today.
Oh, right.
Not like a crack pipe or anything, but I went to the Granger market, bought a pipe and some tobacco, sat in my back garden, just smoking a pipe because I didn't have anything to do. But just the most random, and I was getting deeper and deeper into just self-doubt and, whatever you want to call it at the time. And I'd then go up for auditions, but there'd be really big films, and I just didn't have the confidence at the time. I'd moved, as soon as I'd finished Dream Team, I moved back to the Northeast because I knew I loved London, but I loved London because I had money to live the kind of way that I imagined you lived in London. And then as soon as that finished, and I didn't think I'd saved any money, right? I didn't think I'd had any money. I thought I'd just spent it all on Bond Street, just on shirts and trousers for weekends out and stuff, right? And Robson's business partner had been taking savings from me. And that's how green and naive. I wasn't even looking at my bank account. I was just like, and she was putting money aside. So when I finished, she like presented me with this bank book going, don't panic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But then, it was just weird when you don't have a profile. Well, when you've got a profile, but you don't have any work, it's quite a difficult place to be. Because at 21, mate, I liked being that guy. I went into it with loads of insecurities. I wasn't a popular kid at school. I wasn't the kind of in the cool crowd. I wasn't the footballer. But because of this show, I became this version of me that I really liked. And oh my God, I liked that guy. And then when you're kind of getting the bus into town because you don't have a car, and you haven't got any money left, and people are going, aren't you that lad off what are you doing on the bus? And you go, I'm making a TV drama about being a bus driver. Just doing research, guys. Just doing research. And it was just hard, just kind of, having a taste of it. And this leads on to Byker because I got a taste of being part of an ensemble and having this great friendship with a group of people and knowing all the crew and just feeling really safe and doing, what I felt was good work and having like this family. And I left that show at 21 and I just went, I'm probably not going to get that again. I don't think I'm going to get, that was so unique. As I said, mate, I'd never been on a train until I started casting for it. So I thought that was really unique and I'm never ever going to get that again. But at the time, terrifyingly, I just couldn't imagine doing anything else. That my biggest fear at the time was like, one, I don't think I can do anything else. But I don't want to do anything else. Like Robson said years ago, and he totally hit the nail on the head. To be an actor, it's not something that you want to do. It's something that you need to do. It's just you can't imagine life without that thing.
Yeah.
And I related to that and went, that's exactly how I feel. It's terrifying to be out of work. When that's all you want to do. And at 21, it's giving you this, what you feel is this identity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of that is important now that I'm older and you reflect on it. But at the time, it was a really big deal, I never became an actor because I wanted to be famous. But Dream Team gave me a profile and gave me a taste of that.
Yeah.
And mate, at 21 was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember. And it was a time when Sky One was like really big and exciting and fresh, wasn't it? There was like dramas like Harry on the Boat.
That followed.
It was all like quite cool and sexy, wasn't it?
And they put loads of it in the promotion. I mean, Rupert Murdoch, who won Sky at the time, said, I want my boys everywhere. And the marketing department just had us at everything. We were at the premiere of like Titanic. We were at the openings of like Planet Hollywoods and all these big launches. And again, it was just, it's weird, but just here, it's just bizarre. You kind of, because you wanted us to have that confidence, you wanted us to kind of feel that we had a place. And obviously at the time, you're competing against Hollyoaks, which was brand new, that teen drama had just started.
Yeah.
And he just wanted us to compete with those kind of shows. It's put an awful lot of money, which raised our profiles. By the time we started series 2, we were all coming back because we shot for 10 months of the year. Like 10 months of the year. Like it's 40 odd episodes a year. We did Monday to Friday, and then we have 2 months off and come back. And I remember all of us coming back going, "Mate, you've been recognised." How did people stop you? And like we're all like, "Oh my God, this is a thing! Oh, this is incredible!" And it just, as the show started to go out, it just gained this following. That I still get people. I mean, it's not so much now because I do look very, very different to what I did when I was 19. But you do get those diehard fans, who, "Oh, you were there," you know what I mean? And they talk about it fondly. It was, they liked it back in the day.
I always thought, and I was going to ask, if the reason that we hadn't got you on Byker sooner, this is before I knew about the Porter, is because you were busy with Dream Team. But there was a bit of a gap.
Mate, there was. I mean, it came through absolute chance. So I was doing episodes of stuff, Casualty and Emmerdale and all that kind of. And I was quiet, and I got in touch with Robson's company and was like, "Look, I just want to be doing something. Is there anything? I'm going stir crazy. I'm smoking pipes. I'm painting pictures, and none of which are kind of like giving me any sense of fulfillment. Is there anything I can do?" So they took me on. I started reading scripts for them because they would get like scripts sent in from scriptwriters, and they were all unsolicited, so they didn't have any agents. So you're reading it, and you'd reply to them with some constructive criticism, and then I would do the fan mail stuff because you would get a lot of letters, which I'm sure you've had a few in the past. Get all the letters in, and you'd send pictures or CDs or whatever it was you were sending out. So I'd be doing that just to be kind of filling my time, and again, like psychologically feeling like I was still kind of in the industry, hadn't stepped too far out. I hadn't, I wasn't having to go and take a bar job, which nothing wrong with that, but I don't know how I would have felt about that at the time.
Yeah.
And I worked with a woman. They were doing Wire in the Blood, and the production coordinator was a woman called Jill Graham. And I got on really well with Jill. I chatted to her, we were catching up, and I told her about my background. And then she went on to do Byker, and she just mentioned my name to Ed Pugh, the producer. I said, "I've just been working with this guy. He spent some time in London, did the show, did a bit of that, did a bit of this, but he's in the region. You might want to kind of meet with him." So I met with him originally for 4 episodes.
Right.
Yeah, it was just the contract originally was just 4 eps, but I came in
and killed it.
Well, mate, it was. Thanks for saying that, by the way. But mate, it was totally like I turned up. There's no word of a lie, Andrew. Right? I turned up on day 1, and by lunchtime, I'm sat in the canteen, and people are talking, and I knew a lot of the people.
This is when you got the part.
Yeah. So from I got the part. So I turned up on day 1. And it was some kind of like DJ event or something.
I remember.
Yeah,
you were nervous.
Yeah, I was terrified. Yeah. I remember Kathy Healy going, because Kathy knew me from other stuff I'd done. So I'd done episodes, and people thought I was like just a really confident performer, and I was so nervous, man. And she went, "Are you nervous?" And I went, "I'm terrified." She went, "I didn't think you got nervous." I was like, really, really nervous. But got to lunchtime, and everyone was over, we're chatting, and I had that feeling. I genuinely went, "Oh my God, this is it. Oh my God, this is what I had. This is what I never thought I'd ever get again." And I swear to you, in my head I went, "I'm staying here. I'm going to do everything I can with these 4 episodes to make sure that they want to have me back." And I went out in a really, really kind of vicious way to steal every single scene that I was a part of. Because and there was an episode, we did this Outward Bound like adventure, and there was some kind of disaster with the kids, and I helped save whoever it was that it was happening to. And it was this kind of, this like Jurassic Park meets Bear Grylls kind of character, and they dressed me in this like, the whole regalia with a hat and everything like that. And there was a scene where I'm meant to get attacked by this unseen like beast behind a tree. It all sounds it's very Byker Grove. And I remember it's one of those scenes and one of those characters where if you've got to commit. You can't go into it halfway. So I just gave everything. And apparently Ed watched that scene and went, we need to keep a hold of him.
Fantastic.
So that's what. But I genuinely in my head went, I don't want to leave this show right now. I kind of felt very at home there.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a bit
from
more.
the moment you started, it seemed like you were a perfect fit. Yeah.
It was never on the radar. I'd done the kind of the hospital porter role, and you get to a certain age and you just write off Byker. Because again, I think what was nice about the character, I wasn't young enough to play a kid, and I wasn't old enough to be kind of, like the adult. I was in this kind of middle ground, and that allowed my storylines to be a lot more fun and enjoyable.
Yeah.
But with that comes real commitment. You've got to just throw yourself into it and get rid of the kind of, you can't have any like self-consciousness. You've got to just go, right, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Let's have a bit of fun with it.
See, I thought you started on the show as assistant youth leader, but that must have come later.
It did, yes. So I came in as just the brother of Tina,
right,
who was in to help them with some event or I can't genuinely remember what the storyline was, but I was there to just help with something that was going on. But I was DJing, I was judging a competition or something.
Yeah.
I just know walking in the room and having everybody there, right? Yeah. All the cast there and going, whoa, this is a bit intense. And I want to remember because I'm a real stickler for my dialogue. I put a lot of work in to make sure that I know the lines and I've got to have it all in there so I can kind of give something. And I remember walking on set, right? And Nick Nancaro sashaying in as he always did and going, what scene's this? And I was like...
Right, great.
But what scene's this? He grabbed some pages and he went, flick through them. I was like, oh my God, he's got loads of dialogue. Like how on earth?
We had got to that point,
How on earth is he going to... This is mental. By the time we'd finished the block and he was word perfect.
Yeah.
And I went, all right, this is how you're on, is it? Okay. All right. Because I was like, that's not my school of... I'm like, I need to really know what I was doing. So that was... But again, when you're young, you can absorb a lot quicker.
Because you came in as an adult, do you ever feel like you missed out on the gritty storylines that we had on Byker? Or did you enjoy it? You were fine with being...
I think because of the age I was at, I got to understand what the show was and what it meant and what its purpose was. Because we used to do... Well, I'm talking about it like you don't know. But remember, we used to do those table reads. You'd read all 4 scripts of the next block. And then we'd get together and it'd be all lovely, catch up with people and you read the episodes. And there was one occasion we're reading... There was the underage pregnancy storyline that was happening at the time. And there was a letter that had been sent in to production. And Ed sat and read it out. It was a young girl who was going through teenage pregnancy. And she just said, I just want to thank you for the show and the storyline. It's really helped me kind of navigate and it's really helped me deal with what I've been going through. And he started crying as he was kind of reading this letter. And he kind of went, that's why we make this show. And you kind of go, oh, wow, yeah, I get it now. And then when it came time to say goodbye to Byker, again, I kind of understood why. Because kids now, they don't need... I mean, maybe it's coming back, I don't know. But at the time, the internet was blowing up and there was all these kind of new platforms and kids were looking elsewhere for support or guidance. And it just came to the time where it was like, this show meant so much to young people because it was serving that purpose. It's wrong to continue it because they try to change the DNA of it. They try to make it a different show. But I believe why Byker worked so well is because it had such heart. Yeah. And the directors would really honor like those storylines. Yeah, you'd get the slime stuff and you'd get the kind of, the crazy farcical storylines and scenes. But you'd always come back to a real, like, honest moment.
Did anyone ever talk to you that the show was going to go in a different direction or not?
Yeah, so in one of the later series, they said, they're targeting a younger audience. So we're gonna not dumb it down's the wrong way to say it, but they were targeting a younger audience. So we were going to say goodbye to those stronger, hard-hitting storylines. Like we're not going to be doing underage pregnancy or kind of drug addiction or, bulimia or whatever it was that we're covering. We're not going to be doing that. It's going to be more kind of fun and upbeat. And And I still enjoyed it, man. I really did, Andrew. I really loved the time, even when because I was working, and I feel like I'm the best version of me when I'm on the floor. I just absolutely love it. So I enjoyed it, but I could see the change, and I was kind of, nah, this isn't. There's other shows that service what this is, or what this now is. And it just didn't have a place anymore, unfortunately.
Do you think you would have moved on had it not have ended?
Sorry,
when the show got to that, when it changed, do you think you might have started to move on before the show finished?
Do you know what? Well, the Dream Team experience totally changed how I navigated work. So I probably would have, because my character because when I was dressed up as something, I was all in. And I was like, I'm giving my all to this. Ed really loved that. So they would have script meetings, and he'd go, what can we dress David up as now? It's been Roman Centurion, it's been Bear Grylls. I was a woman in one episode, mate. I was a woman, I've never worn heels before, and they were so painful. I got wolf whistled at though on the quayside. I did, genuinely. I was so hot back then. And mate, I probably would have, but I would have done it in a different way. I would have made sure that was kind of the reality of something else. Because again, man, you were very lucky to be able to say you had 6 months of the year booked in. And that's what it was for me. And it was, I joined the show knowing I was going to be a dad in the September. And the fact that the first 5 years of my son's life had me at home for 6 months was just an absolute godsend. It was amazing.
Your eldest is the age that you were when you started then?
He is. That's crazy.
Wow.
I know, because I talk to him all the time. Go, imagine being a dad. Imagine being a dad now. He's like, I can't look after myself, no mind somebody else. That's how I felt. Yeah.
Do you remember how you were told that the show was going to be ending for good?
Yeah. I got a phone call from the exec at the BBC saying it's about to be announced, but just wanted to give you a heads up. I mean, we kind of had a feeling, because some of the storylines were just, I think it was just struggling a bit, and it wasn't. I think we all knew it had a gear change, and it wasn't landing as well as it had. But again, you really still don't think these things are ever going to end. Around for 18 years. Do you know what I mean? And I got a phone call from the exec saying, "Oh, they've made the decision. BBC's let's go. I think next series is going to be the last series. Just wanted you to know before you read it." And then it was all over the news, which again makes you realize, wow, like how lucky, even just how lucky am I to be a part of a show that the news are talking about, because it's not going to be here anymore.
I remember I watched My Funeral episode a little while ago, and it was harrowing. Like, not just My Funeral, but Bill's accident, and Joe Caffrey's upset about hitting him. And I was like, wow, I sort of feel like, I don't know this, but I will ask one of the writers or someone. Was that a turning point where someone upstairs went, whoa, this is too heavy for young people?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was serving its purpose. I think what was great about it is it was really groundbreaking. You watch the earlier episodes, and in comparison to TV now, you're like, oh my God, this is so bad and so cringy. But back then, it was like there was nothing else like it, especially for young people. To be a true representation of what it was like to be young, that was quite rare back then. And I think that's where the heart of the show was. And when you take that away, it just becomes daft scene to daft scene to daft scene, And again, that there's a place for that, but that's just not what Byker was.
The show ended in 2006, and it wasn't your first time at the rodeo. So what did you do next? Was it just straight back into auditions?
Well, mate, like Byker had been amazing for me. I'd got a lot of work.
You were working whilst doing Byker as well.
Yeah, because I was just work for me gives me confidence. So I was having meetings because I was in a show for 6 months. So I'm taking meetings having just left set, or I'm going back on Monday to continue acting. And you're a different person in the room. So I'd done film, I'd done some theatre, I was in other kind of TV spots. So I was in a good place. And to be honest, I was prepared for it. Because I think a lot of people hadn't gone through that, hadn't come out of this long stint on a show. So I was kind of prepared, almost prepared for the worst. But it was, it wasn't too hard on me because I'd still been hustling. I'd still been kind of looking for work. I'd still been, doing stuff.
Yeah, I feel for the young cast who just started on the show when it
But
happened.
also it's kind of knowing young, I mean, you could probably answer this. What's it like being in a TV show as a kid? Like, well, what does it feel like a job? Does it feel like an air responsibility, or is it just this cool thing that you're doing?
Yes, it's brilliant. Yeah, there's lots of different things that come with it, I suppose, but overall, just the best job in the world, isn't it?
And were you protected from the reality of what the industry was and how hard it was to be an actor, or were you just, well, I'm in a TV show, so it's because that's how I felt at 19. I got this break in this TV show, and I went, well, I've nailed that. Then this is going to be like amazing.
Yeah.
Because surely you only go forward, but what you don't realize about the industry is like there's no ladder.
Yeah.
You're not kind of working your way up to something. You're going up the ladder, and then you're jumping back down the ladder. You're throwing the ladder away, and you're trying to find the ladder again. Do you know what I mean?
In the early stages of my career, after every job I went, well, that's it. I'm sorted now. Who's next then?
Exactly.
And then you go, come on, it's been a little while now.
Yeah, I know. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
So I think the realization, but also people might not have wanted. I mean, I'd love to have left a show like that and gone, I don't want to be an actor anymore, because it would have just taken away the heartache of giving it a try and maybe realizing it's not for you, or but then you've got an awful lot of training, like the kids were amazing at like hitting the marks and not casting a shadow and learning the lines, and that's all craft that you're only going to gain from doing it. So you all come out with this amazing skill set, but maybe not. It's that thing I went back to. You might go, I'd really love to be an actor, but that's just not enough to get you through, because it's really not worth it. Yeah. It's brutal. It's so brutal.
Yeah. And now you've been directing.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I kind of came at a quite a cool time. I mean, I'm still in the early stages of it. I still class myself as quite a new director.
Okay.
I know, because I'm still quite young.
New kid
obviously.
On the block.
That's what I like to tell myself anyway. But you know what's really cool though? It's really nice to be kind of new at something, because I haven't been new for like 30 years. So it's kind of new. It's nice to be new for once. Yeah. Although I have had the kind of the breaks and the jobs and stuff, but I still feel I'm still hustling like I was 30 years ago to try and get the work coming in. But I was doing I just signed with a new agent in London, and they went, I'm coughing, by the way, because I've got a cold. I don't know if you'll tell your viewers that.
Next week I'll be like this.
Yeah. I do apologise. He's going to be bedridden. I shouldn't really be here. I'm so unwell right now. I just had with a new agent, and that agent said, how would you feel about being in one of Robson's shows? And I was like, well, I don't have a problem with it if he doesn't. And they said, well, because there's this role in the show that Robson's in, and we want to put you up for it. How do you feel about that? And I was like, well, it depends on what level I'm being put into it. And they said, well, we've been told the director won't know, and if you want, there won't be anyone in the room who you know. I said, oh look, I don't mind people being in the room. Like, I know the producer, I know Sandra, the exec, but I don't want the director to know. I don't want the director to know. And if that can be promised, then I'd love to go up for it, because I wouldn't want, I'd had years and years and years of people commenting, going, well, he's only doing it because his uncle. He only got Byker Grove because his uncle got him in, which isn't true. As I said earlier, it gets a small spotlight on you because people are intrigued, but you're not going to get a job. You're only going to get the job if you can deliver, right? Because again, it wasn't like it is now. If I had like 20 million followers, a show might want me involved in it because I've got huge exposure for them. Back then, there was no social media. It was like, can you come in the room and be who we want you to be? If you can, you may get the role. If you can't, next, please. So I go to London and I go in the room, and the exec producer comes out and says, lovely to see you. I knew her really well. She was like a friend. And she went, do you want me in there? Do you want me out? Like, how do you feel? I said, oh, honestly, it's fine. Go, it's be in. Don't. She went, because I've lined it up. I'm going to make a fake phone call and I'll come out. I said, honestly, it's fine. Just be in there. It'll be lovely to have you in the room. So I come in, and it's for a director called Declan O'Dwyer, and he was directing this episode. And I'd read the script on the way down. It was an adaptation of one of Al's books, of Al McDermott, who wrote Why in the Blood. They wrote like the novels that they were based on, and it was called Torment of Others. So I'd read the full script on the way down on the train. It was
You were a bad guy.
Well, I was originally reading for one of the roles of detective for Siobhan. Right. It was like Siobhan Finneran's kind of like sidekick. So I go in, I'm reading the scene, and Declan just went, mate, sorry, you've just done something with your eyes. Can I ask you to read a different role? And I went, yeah, oh, yeah, whatever, mate. And he went, and he handed over the role of Carl Adams, and I'd obviously read the script, and I went, oh my God, killer. Oh my God, I'd never, ever been cast in that kind of role before. I don't know what I'd done with my eyes. I don't know what was going on. And I read it, and he went, that's really good. And he actually went, really good. And I love your shoes. That's what he said. I was like, okay, cool. I like yours as well, mate. Brilliant. And I left. And then my agent rang and said they want to offer you the role of Carl, the killer in the episode. And I was like, oh my God. So then it wasn't until I got on set that Declan went, mate, I didn't even know. I didn't even know you're Robson's nephew. And I said, well, I kind of didn't want you to be. And I mean, not that it makes any difference. But anyway, I get this role. And for the first time, I mean, you know, because we've worked together, in between scenes, I'd like to chat and know what you're doing, how you know, what you're doing the weekend, what's up, what's happening. And then I'll turn over and you get into character quickly, action, you do your scene, cut there, and you get back to being you. For the first time, I wanted to have a totally different rhythm. I wanted to have a different tone. I wanted to just feel different. And I wanted just a totally different energy. So in between takes, I'd go away and I'd just stand in the corner and I'd either stare at the wall or I'd just stare at people and just like, I would just like, but with this kind of just totally zoned out. I wanted to just have a totally different rhythm for it. And for the first time, I really, really watched the flow. And I watched Declan and I watched how he worked with his DOP. And I heard conversations that and bearing in mind, I'd done like hundreds of hours up to this point, but hadn't truly tuned in to the role. But because I was, for the first time, just totally away from it or on the outside of it, just looking in, I just watched it and subconsciously just got really excited by what he was doing. And that was where the seed was planted. And that's when I started to, and that was during my time on Byker, because I made a short. I might have been after, but I made a short. Maybe just after Byker, because I did a short, and Patrick Miller was in the short for me,
right?
Who was a killie in Byker.
Yeah.
And so that and that was my first kind of dipping my toe in. I mean, what I realized from making that short, Patrick, was I just didn't have any clue about directing. I knew how to talk to an actor.
Yeah.
I knew story, but I didn't know. I didn't know how to have a conversation with the DOP or, you know, the crew and what you expect from people, what they expect from you. But that was the beginnings of my exploration, and it just continued over time.
So it wasn't like in the back of your mind at a young age.
I wish it had been, because all I could think about for years was I just want to act. And I'd be terrified. I'd literally lie awake and I'd go, what if I can't? What if it just stops? Like, what am I? I can't imagine finding anything that will give me like happiness or will give me this feeling of, I don't know. It just, I felt it had become such a huge part of my DNA that I was so terrified of not being able to do it.
Yeah.
So when this directing thing came around and I started to explore it and I started to realize actually what I love about acting, there's more of it in directing. Because what I love about acting is the collaboration. I love working with people. But if it's just me and you in a scene, I tend to just be working with you and we're chatting, we'll get notes from the director. But as a director, you're just in the center of this huge, huge collaboration with so many people. And I think what I realize, I'm just hooked on storytelling, but hooked on collaboration. And as a director, you've just got more scope to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about it. Yeah.
So what have we? Where can we see your work these days?
So I got I did a part of my training ground. I did a load of shorts, festival, a lot of shorts. I then got an opportunity on Tracy Baker.
Yeah.
It was Tracy Baker. No, sorry, it was Dumping Ground. The kind of, you know, the move on. And more recently, so going back to the Declan O'Dwyer thing, Declan called me not that long ago, asking what I was up to, and telling me he was on Geek Girl on Netflix, and would I be up for taking his second unit? So I was like, absolutely. And he said, because I don't trust many directors, but I trust you. I think he only says that because I claim he's the reason that I'm now directing. I absolutely adore him. Like, he's an amazing director. He's fantastic. And he's kind of like, he has all the skill set that I'm trying to, to kind of, I want to be like him. It's kind of like, he's a bit of a big brother figure. But then they stepped me up to main unit. So I've been kind of backwards and forwards to London and just earning more stripes and having more time on the floor.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
But you are still acting as well.
Well, I wasn't up
Okay.
until about a month ago. I hadn't
Okay.
acted for about 10 years. And then before Christmas,
10 years?
oh, yeah, about
Really?
that. Yeah, well, it was about 8 to 10 years, I think, by the time I
Wow.
last did anything, like,
Okay.
you know, like a TV acting job.
Yeah.
And then I'd been directing commercials, and I got a call from a producer that I've known for years, going, "Oh, mate, I'm doing this commercial on Thursday, like the following week. Are you free? It's a bit of a last minute thing." And as we were having a conversation, I realized he was asking me to be in it. And I went,
Right.
whoa, hang on. Is this for me to direct or to be in? And he went, "Well, I thought you could be in it because, I mean, that's what you do, isn't it?" And I was like, "Not for a long time." And he went, "Oh." And I went, "Oh, no, hang on. I am free on Thursday."
How much?
Yeah, how much are you paying? Because times are hard, and I need to pay for a train ticket to come see Andrew Hayden-Smith. So I was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, go on, I'll do it." So I did it, and it was literally, I had a really good day. It was like riding a bike. I felt very comfortable and relaxed after the initial kind of blocking of it and got the nerves out of the way. And then I kind of in my head, because I only stopped acting because I wanted to be taken seriously as a director. I had this fear that people just thought,
Okay.
he's just an actor who's gone a bit quiet now. He wants to be a director. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I was getting, I mean, I got in touch with a line producer, not mentioning any names. I got in touch with a line producer on Tracy Beaker because I'd just been in it. I'd just acted in it. And I said, is there any chance of shadowing? I'm wanting to be a director. And he kind of went, do you not think it might be a bit confusing if, you know, you've been on the floor as an actor and now you're, you know, how do you want to be seen? And it really kind of like resonated with me, and right or wrong advice, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And it took me quite a while to cross over and to get, you know, the actual gig and the actual commission from someone like the BBC. And I was thinking, what can it be? Could it be because I'm seen as an actor, or is it because I'm doing this? So I stopped it, thinking it would help me get directing work. And now that I've earned the stripes, I feel a lot more confident to be able to do a bit of this and a bit of that. So I've just done a role in a Channel 5 drama called Family Secrets. That's going to be out, I think, just before Christmas.
Nice.
And it was, you know, on the floor, great cast around me, you know, and it was just
good to be back.
Mate, yeah, I mean, I was interested to do it because I give actors a lot of notes that I sometimes go, "Oh, that's really interesting. I wonder I wonder why I didn't do that. Or I wonder why I didn't take that note or get that note." So I was kind of, I was interested to go on and try and take some of my own advice in terms of like acting, or what I think acting is now, or what I thought it was, and what you can trust as opposed to what you can perform, and you know. So I was interested in doing it, but it was literally, it just felt, I just feel at home on the floor.
Yeah.
And I feel really comfortable, and I really enjoy it. It gives me such a lovely, lovely feeling to be on set, like anywhere, to do anything. Yeah. So it just felt really nice. And again, I knew 90% of the people. I walked on the floor. I mean, you know, a lot. It was weird because a lot of people don't know me as an actor because I've worked with them, but only as a director.
Oh, right.
And they were like, "Me, I didn't know it." I was like, "Watch this, man. Wait until you see what I'm about to do here." There's a lot of that. But again, there was a pressure. I wanted to kind of come with a confidence. I wanted to feel like I belonged there, or you know what I mean. Like I wanted to feel like I was. So I was very well prepped for it. Good. Do you know what I mean?
So that's Channel 5.
Channel
Christmas.
5, yeah, just before Christmas. I spoke to the director and I said, "Oh, when's this going to TX?" And they said, "Oh, it looks like it's going to be just before Christmas."
Okay.
There's 4 episodes.
Great.
And I'm in episodes 1 and 2.
Great.
So,
should we do some quick fire questions?
Oh, come on then.
If you could have been a younger actor, one of the kids, who would you have liked to have been and why?
Oh, mate, I'd have dreamed to have your role. I mean, really? I think everybody wants to be the heartthrob of a show.
You can't say Ben.
Mate, I think everybody wants to be the heartthrob of any show.
Do you know what? Now that I think about it, since the time has passed, realizing what a complex little lad he was, actually.
Yeah.
He was abandoned. He wasn't just this like heartthrob who was getting off with all the girls and stuff. He'd been abandoned and he was like, he didn't want to be left alone. So yeah, he was a good character. Who else? Bradley?
If only. I'd have given it a good go, but I think would have fallen short. One of the kind of, you know, those 2 lads that I did the episode when I was the hospital porter. two lads that get up to no good. Somebody like, because that was I was quite a good lad as I was growing up.
Right.
Didn't bring any trouble to my parents' door. A bit of I'd have been a bit of or maybe like a Denton burner.
Yeah.
I would have been to have been one of the Raj Denton burners.
I was going to say before when you were talking about Wire in the Blood, you were a great villain.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and I think it's probably because it's so not you.
It was so dark.
That you went, oh wow.
Yeah.
It was really impactful.
No, it was just nice to, as I say, I just wanted to, because I'd like acting for me is about bringing the character as close to you. When you're in TV and it's fast turnover, you know, I've worked with actors who try that whole method approach, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but in TV, you've got to be able to tap into emotion relatively fast because your schedule's all over the place. You've got to be able to deliver. So I would look at a scene or a scenario or what the character was going through and just go, how would I react to this? Like, so there's like an element of honesty, and then you bring it to who the character is. But so I'd like to, but Wire was like, you know, it was because it was an adaptation of the book. You could read what was beautiful about it. Val would write these kind of passages that were the inside of the killer's head.
Oh, right.
So before I went on the set, I would just read his thought process.
Yeah.
And it was things like, you know, how honest and dark can I go with this? Because it
put me in mind of like Heath Ledger's book when he was doing the Joker.
It was so brutal, the things he did to the girls. But he'd explain things about like what smells he liked.
Oh, right.
When he was, it's just like, it's gruesome. But to be able to take that and go on the floor with that, it was a totally different experience.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, I'd walk on as Daymon, just wearing a different shirt or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like read lines that a writer had written, and
Or
that
heels.
was that. Or heels, and a blonde wig, and just like, you know, that was my acting process.
Yeah.
But Wire really gave me an opportunity to kind of just totally like change all of that.
Yeah.
Which was exciting.
Very good. We've veered off slightly.
We have, sorry. Yeah, that was not a very quick fire. That was the slowest quick fire question ever.
Usually I ask about biker paycheck, but what did you spend your first dream team paycheck on?
Ooh, what
are you allowed to say?
What did I buy? Oh, do you know, it was like at the time we there was a lot of clothes shopping. There was a lot of going to like Prada was really big at the time, and again, these were brands that you didn't really have in the Northeast back then. So it's a lot of like Gucci and Prada and all of that stuff that you think is going to make you look better. Mate, it was just clothes and holidays and just daft things really that I regret massively now. But
what do you think Dom's doing now?
He's in prison. He's totally in prison. I'd like to think Dom has set up his own. He's like probably working in one of the like an underprivileged area in the UK. He probably has his own kind of outreach centre.
Right.
He's probably running something for young people. Okay. You know, and kind of that's what I think. And he's obviously married to Chrissy because they had a little kiss in the last episode. And probably doing some good in the world.
Good, yeah. Favorite Geordie word or phrase?
I mean, this one always gets people. Everyone gets that. Yeah, everyone.
I live by that.
Well, because my family, one side of my family are from Northumberland. It's like Yarry-tinny, but in the Northumberland dialect, the roll they R's, so it's like Yarry-tinny. My great grandfather had come in, Yarry-tinny. Do you want some jam and breed? That was the way that he spoke. So like,
Hinny's dying out a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a Hinny's in Whitley Bay, a nice little restaurant there.
Right.
But Hinny, Yarry-tinny. But yeah, Shivan's getting that. It's very, very good. You can't beat that one, can you?
This has been lush.
Mate,
thank you for coming in, feeling under the weather, and for making the journey down.
Thank you very much. And for those watching, he's not AI'd. He genuinely is that good looking in real life. Mate, I was like, I've got cold. I'm like, you're putting a lot of pressure on his face. But he is genuinely that good looking. It's sickening. It really, really is.
We just went back to Byker.